Hello, gentle viewers, and welcome to another episode of Alistair Reviews It. And today we are going to be covering the fourth episode in WandaVision. It's called We Interrupt This Program. I am joined today by my lovely husband, Zachary Garcia,
Yes.
and our friend, Payden.
Yeah. Some guy we met on Omegle. If anybody
What's up,
remembers
everybody?
Omegle or what was the other one? I don't remember. Some online chat room.
It was Chat Roulette.
Chat roulette, something like
Twitter?
that. That's what it was. How did you like it, Payton?
I really loved it. I felt like it was kind of the payoff for a little bit of a slow burn for our first three episodes. It really kind of put everything into.
Yeah. Did you like the whole I don't know, the setup of the first couple episodes with the sitcom thing, or were you just ready for them to get into?
Oh, I
into the
mean,
story?
I really enjoyed the attention to detail in every episode they did. They went so far out of their way to deliver something that was like unique to both TV and Marvel at the same time. I mean,
Yeah.
even as far as going into like puppeteering things for the visual effects for the first episode, and
Yeah.
the weird ways they would just like twist the knife a little bit to pique your curiosity and then snap right back into it. So yeah,
100%. Yeah, there was just those like we said in a couple of our reviews. There were just a couple of little nuggets, but here we've got a full-on explanation episode now, and it definitely feels like an episode that was supposed to be longer, like twice the length. And yeah, they like cut it in half.
I think it's well named We Interrupt This Program because
Yes.
so far we've had really cool like sitcom episodes, and this one had such a big cinematic feel.
Well, it was such a departure from the other episodes because it doesn't even have like the sitcom opening or anything like that. It really is like a Marvel movie. It looks like a Marvel movie, sounds like a Marvel movie. You got the Marvel like score. Like it's really they go for it.
And speaking to the Marvel movie, is we actually open up this entire. I was so confused at the opening of this episode. I was like,
Oh
"What
my
is
gosh,
happening?
no, I wasn't
Is
confused.
everybody
Yeah.
exploding or something?"
I got chills all over my body when that opening happened. I went right back to Peter Parker and Tony, and it was intense. What were you like? How did that even play for you?
I mean, it was so interesting because the only time that they've really addressed the blip was in Far From Home, which I mean, up until WandaVision was the only post-endgame content we had had for so long. But you know, with John Watts and his style of directing and the tone of his movies, you know, they made it almost for funny.
Yeah.
Like with all the band members popping back up, interrupting a basketball game, and just bleachers. Like that was funny, but this was actually the first time that Marvel really kind of addressed. No, like these people were wiped from existence. They're coming back into
Yeah.
real scenarios, like in a hospital. And it was the attention to every facet of detail in that scene that I ended up rewatching it 4 or 5 times because there were just so many things I missed. Like you see a guy that's appearing at somebody's bedside and he's not supposed to be there, and Monica, you know, jumping into that guy, and when he's coming back and knocking him out, and then you hear a doctor saying like, we don't have capacity for all these people, like they're coming back out of nowhere.
Yeah.
And then there's also that really sad realization that like has been addressed, but people lost people, like they're coming back to existence. And
Yeah, Monica Rambeau lost her mother.
And I really like, because we've seen that. I mean, that's kind of been a theme, I think, since Ultron. Because we go back to Ultron and they talk about all of the casualties. And then we go into Civil War, we go into Phase 3 and 4 of Marvel itself. And a lot of what they talk about is the casualties, the little guy, and what they're paying for with these superpowered individuals like really going at it. And in this episode, with Geraldine, she thinks her mother's alive.
Yeah. Well, we know she's Monica now, so she's Monica Rambeau now, which, you know, we kind of thought in the last episode. Now it's confirmed, and oh gosh, it's so good. I'm so happy to like have Monica Rambeau here now as a character. I was waiting for it, and I was hoping it was gonna pan out. And then she comes back, and you know her mom's gone, and they've got this whole this whole
Sword?
sword. There you go. We've got sword ready and like up and running already, and she, her card didn't even work.
It was so interesting. Even like that guy was just, he was just like, well, if you worked here, your card would work.
Yeah, he was kind of like, duh.
I just love that look at her. It's just like,
She's like, okay.
She's like, no, you don't get. I blipped. I was like,
So my question is, does she get back pay?
she should give her. You should give her like something, like a stipend, maybe.
Like, I mean, probably, if she had a house or an apartment or anything like that, that's not there anymore.
Well, I mean,
like, you need some like establishment.
I'm assuming
money.
with the COVID relief we get, in this country anyway, they probably didn't get anything for blipping.
Did they have a blip?
They
relief?
got $600 for they got their blip relief, $600. Spent the last
$100 a year. It's just like, yep.
This is the first time that I know of that we've seen this in the MCU, the Surveillance Weapon Observation and Response Division, which feels very shieldy to me, but like focused on different stuff. And they talk about their Observation and Response Division, and then I know Monica Rambeau is like, don't you? I think she also talked about. Do you guys not also cover Creation or whatever? Because they're in that like big warehouse where they have a bunch of stuff in it, and then Monica. Okay. So, and then obviously we have the conversation with right now the acting director
Hayward
of Sword, and they talk about how she is grounded to terrestrial missions, which I don't know that they had extraterrestrial missions. So I think that kind of opens up a new can of like, what's that going to be? Are we going to have, because we had Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., which I know was different because it was on ABC, which I loved. Are we going to have, like, the same thing with Sword? Is that a possibility? I
don't know, because they set up Sword as the tag for Far From Home.
Mm-hmm.
And we see that with Nick Fury, allegedly drinking on a beach until we wake up to see he's on a giant spaceship filled with Skrulls.
Oh, true.
So that was our first introduction to that. So it's nice that they're not shying away from getting us there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And I also like about this episode that, with the show this different, I feel like any other studio would get really lost in the exposition, spending way too much time trying to explain it. But within this 30-minute episode, they so seamlessly covered everything without like a 45-minute explanation of why XYZ is existing.
And it was good, and it was to the point, and it was a great kind of mirrored image to the previous 3 episodes, because the previous 3 episodes we see what's going on in Wanda's world, and now we're seeing what's been going on outside of that as this stuff has been happening. And so we have this really interesting mirror image, and we're figuring out, like, why the helicopter was, in color and laying in the front yard, and we're getting all our answers while still getting new questions.
And I love that for us, but at the same time, I'm like, because I was spending all this time like trying to theorize, and I'm like, damn it, you're giving it to me now, and I love that you're giving it to me, but at the same time, I was enjoying the mystery aspect of it so much.
Right.
So I'm hoping that I still loved the episode. Yeah. I'm just like kind of sad that at least at this point, a lot of our questions were answered. It's both very satisfying and also very like, damn. Yeah. We have the arrival at Westview. Agent Wu does the Ant-Man card trick, I realized. Yeah. Actually, I saw on a TikTok that somebody brought that up, that he finally perfected the Ant-Man's card trick. And they're talking about the missing town. The drone, we find out that the helicopter, the little play helicopter, was the drone.
Was something that they sent in.
Yes.
Yeah.
And Rambeau enters Westview. So... Yeah.
I mean, but why is she sticking her hand in it anyway? She's like no. Her first time on the scene, she just sticks her hand in it.
You just came back, Monica. What are you doing?
She didn't get the back pay. She's trying to get the workers' comp now.
She's got to go for a couple different avenues.
I think my big question, though, in that whole sequence was with that helicopter drone that they had. Was that the one that Wanda found?
Yes.
We see so many of them going in and disappearing.
Oh, okay.
That's the only part of the episode. I mean, it doesn't lose me or take me out of it. It's just you're trying to connect the dots.
Hmm.
So I mean, feasibly, from when they arrive at the boundary until the end of the episode, episodes 1, 2, and 3 are happening.
Yeah.
So it's like,
Yeah, within that short
So
period.
they're likely sending more in. I think the implication, just for the simple-minded folks like myself, is that it's the same one, but the
Retroized.
the possibility is definitely there that it's one of many that have probably been sent in.
So, and I think that also begs another question because we see the color of the drone. It comes in, and it's retroized, but it's also colored.
Yeah.
While everything's black and white.
Mm-hmm.
However, Wanda also, I mean not Wanda, Geraldine also enters, and she's retroized, but she isn't, colorized
Yeah.
like the drone was.
One thing would have been cool to see though, is to see her going in and having to like immediately get set up into this world, because we didn't really see that, did we? We didn't really see her go out and like get a place to stay.
I kind of like that they don't do that.
I have, I don't know. It's one of those things where they answered so much, but left also so much up. I don't think that they're done giving us.
Oh no, yeah, that's why I thought like this looks like it was a longer episode. I think they have more pieces to kind of fill in.
What I think it's a WandaVision Monica right now.
Yeah, pretty much.
It's WandaVision Monica. I'm loving it.
It's Monica's world, is what it is.
But we have the 24 hours later. Everybody starts showing up on scene. We have Kat Dennings.
Kat Dennings. Kat Dennings.
I did not expect it.
I love me some Kat Dennings.
Who doesn't? She's just got that energy.
She's just got that like, okay.
It's like her entire like personality is like exactly what we need right now for comedic
I just
relief.
got Two Broke Girl flashbacks. Nice to see that
I love
character
Two Broke Girl.
updated. She's back.
I love it. She's a doctor now too.
Yeah.
Because before she was like an intern who didn't care.
Lost none of her wit when she got her PhD. So good for her. Good
Yeah,
for
she got
her.
her PhD, and I love that for her. And she was like asking everybody like, "What are you doing? What are like? Oh, so they really don't know what's happening right now."
Yeah.
So it kind of gives us like a basis to go from, and they start setting up a new Area 51. I put in my notes, I put Area 54, and I was like, that isn't a club. And then I changed it to 51 as their sword response team, and it's pretty cool getting them to come together. And then we have her. So her and Agent Wu both serve as a comedic relief for this episode.
Yeah.
And she's always asking for coffee. Nobody will give her coffee for some reason. And then he will. He talks about softball season. Like they don't want me in the CIA right now because of softball season.
Well, I love when they have all them vintage TVs.
So I divvied it up in my notes as what's going on inside of the tent and what's going on outside of the tent, in terms of like what they're finding out. Because right now they're gathering intelligence, right?
Yeah.
They finally have this sitcom. They're trying to figure out who these townspeople are, and they're trying to answer these questions. Agent Wu puts up why hexagon, why sitcoms, same time and same space. Is Vision alive?
Okay. So
those are the
Vision. I
questions.
really want to talk about Vision right now.
Okay. Let's talk about Vision.
The most triggering, like most horrifying, most reeling thing that just knocked me completely off of my feet is when we get that brief glimpse of his corpse. It's Vision's corpse. I was like, fuck. That like stuck with me all night last night.
Yeah.
As I could not stop thinking about that. That looked absolutely horrifying.
His animated corpse.
And anytime anybody on Twitter now is posting that picture of him, I'm just like, oh fuck.
Brutal.
That's awful.
Yeah. It's like showing you Black Widow with like half her skull missing or something. It's like, oh.
So basically, basically what I'm taking from that is that she's reanimating him.
I don't know.
I don't know. That's just what I'm just still
know.
trying to figure it out, everybody. In my little mind, I'm guessing maybe he's reanimated and maybe his corpse is just like...
Yeah, but he also has like Vision...
I don't know though, because in the first episode, he's not doing.
She could be reanimating him, but at the same time, he is Jarvis. Well, I mean, he came from Jarvis. He came from all that stuff.
But in the first episode, he wasn't doing anything when the guy was choking, and then she kept telling him, "Vision, do something," and that's because she had to will his corpse to do something. She had to animate him.
But we never actually really do know what happens to Vision's body after Infinity War. That is a detail that's just been
She floated
locally.
him down the street into a house.
Well, I mean, it's I think that's like such a big mystery piece right
Yeah.
there, because when she vanishes, she's over his, lifeless body in Wakanda.
Yeah.
But 5 years have passed. She comes back. What's happened to Vision since then?
Yeah. Yeah. And he looks, and as a corpse, he looks like he's still like kind of like crumbling. After that, I don't know. I don't know how
Well, I mean,
his type of corpse would decay, but he looks
Well,
even still.
he's made out of vibranium, if you remember.
Yeah.
yeah.
Ultron. So I feel like he would still be intact.
Yeah.
But I think that's like
Because he was broken where only the parts where he was broken,
Yeah. I think that is the biggest sort of mystery of this episode, and the biggest question of this episode is like, how is she creating this world, and like what pieces is she moving to like make this world, like Vision as a piece, how is she sort of moving him around, or
I do think that we do get echoes of the real Vision.
yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
I think at least if she's animating, hey, he's a piece of sentient technology. So there's probably some Vision remaining in that that body, and she might be animating him.
Yeah.
And he's feeling those vibrations of himself, and he's like, something's just not right here. Oh, well, obviously there's something not right. You have a hole in your head. So
and it's just so creepy that
know.
it was literally just a flash of it, and then he's back. Like she fixes him again.
But
and nobody on the outside seeing any of this, right? They're none of because it's a quick cut. They're just seeing her quick cuts into like they see Geraldine 1 second, and then
but let's talk about how crazy / scary Wanda was.
Oh yeah,
because she terrified me. Like I was like, I'm about to leave. Because when she puts on that face, and when she like starts like doing her like Dark Willow-esque,
it's like
stuff,
a shoulder thing. It's like it's like a little shoulder like.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like very predatory. I feel like she's very predatory.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like that was absolutely a mama bear protecting her territory right there. Like this.
Mhm.
I mean,
reality.
This is our home, and we're not leaving. Like that was the most threatening thing I think she said since "You will" to Thanos. It's so nice that we have this character who in the comics is so unbelievably powerful and epic and can do so much. And she was, I don't want to say she was reduced, but she was never really given a chance to be a character you rooted for in the project she was in, because she was in them so infrequently, and she was so powerful, and they just never really played that up.
Yeah.
And so it's so nice that they were able to give her, Lizzie Olsen, WandaVision, to really flex her acting chops and really give us a three-dimensional character that is Wanda Maximoff. Everything about this show is so phenomenal. I mean,
it's so risky. It's just like
production design, the directing choices, the acting. I mean, just they didn't leave a single detail out. It's just all so meticulous. You just feel the work that Marvel put into this project, and for there to have been such a long time without any content from them. They came out swinging, which is just. You feel like they care about their fans, and I think that's what makes them such a successful studio, is that they really do. They don't just half-ass a project.
Yeah.
I have to very, very, very much agree with you, because I feel like they definitely take exactly, because the MCU isn't the Marvel universe. It isn't. It takes from the Marvel universe and creates something new. Just like how in the Marvel universe you have different iterations of characters everywhere. It's very similar to that. And I think that from what I've seen from Marvel, they do a very good job about picking out elements from comic books that people really, really love, and then making it into something that other people who aren't in love with those, who don't know those first off, can really fall in love with.
Yeah.
So.
I said it's not like you have to have read every Marvel comic that's ever existed to follow along with these stories.
Mm-hmm.
You might have to watch a lot of movies to catch up, but
Yeah, the MCU is the Hannah Montana of Marvel.
Yeah.
You know,
It's like
comic books,
what is it? That's So Sweet Life of Hannah Montana. That's what we got, you know. So that's what we got going on right now.
it's not just generating the same premise 8 different ways. Like they really are giving us new and different and risky, and it's really nice because it's like we're starting the Marvel universe over again.
It's what it feels like. The whole new like phase of it, right? It's
Yeah.
like it's a new. It is a new beginning.
Yeah, and
It is.
they're coming out swinging, and they're not just giving us the new Iron Man and the new Captain America and the new Thor. You know what I mean? Like it's
Very much what they could have done.
not just rebranding it and giving us the same. It's just like, no, here's something new. We're going bigger. We're going more intense.
And with Wanda, I feel like as bringing Wanda as like the starter of this whole new chapter and new era. It was very easy because at the end of Endgame, you know, you see how powerful she is, and everybody is like, "Oh, she's that girl. She's that girl." It would have been very easy to just give her like a Disney Plus movie or a theater movie, and just full on balls to the wall, give her that power instead of like doing something that smartly and intricately unfolds.
Which
for
doesn't mean
her.
that there won't be a Wanda
But
movie.
I think this is giving her a lot more character development doing it in this way because we're figuring out kind of her psyche along with knowing that she's got this power that she's kind of holding back, but we know is coming at us.
And it's leading into one of the newer probably Marvel movies, Wanda versus Willow.
Yeah, okay, calm down.
The showdown
Okay.
between two very powerful witches. Who's gonna win? My bet's on Willow,
Yeah, probably.
but we'll see what happens.
I think if episode 4 is any indication, I think episode 5 and everything else, so they got
Oh my goodness.
more intense. Because I mean,
Yeah.
they held nothing back in episode 4, and there's still so much of the season left to go. So I can't wait to see what they're going to give us.
We talked about that earlier today. How it's like it's very like taste testing, like with these episodes, like because they're a lot shorter than what we're used to as people
Yeah.
who consume a lot of like content. But once they're all out, I think I'm just gonna binge them again. You know, like I feel like it's gonna be very bingeable after this. It's very great being like single episodes, but I think it's gonna be excellent, excellent binging content.
Yeah, so I do predict going into the next episode, we're definitely gonna have, or you know what? See, I think the instant reaction prediction would be that to say that this is episode 5 will be a part 2 to episode 4, but I think Marvel's like smarter than that. I think they're gonna throw something else at us. So I think
I mean, we'll
I
see.
don't know, maybe like a Lion King 1.5 or something. I don't know. something in there.
I really want for Pietro to come back before the end of the.
Oh, I bet he will. I bet he's coming back.
I really want for Pietro to come back and for Monica Rambeau to get her powers.
Well, I want somebody to offer Wanda a little bit of help, like a therapist, somebody that can help her, like kind of manage this so she's not creating like towns and vortexes and because if we all got a little bit mentally, you know, sad sometimes and created a 50s sitcom, that wouldn't be good, would it?
I'm curious to see what we get with Agnes the neighbor, because I noticed in this last episode nobody really talked about her. Which I thought was
She wasn't really there, was she?
She wasn't, but she played such a critical role in like the other. Well, wait. Well, I guess no. She kind of took it back in episode 3 a little bit, but I just found that interesting that nobody really talked about her much in episode 4. So maybe I love me some Catherine Hahn. That's all I know. So I want to see more.
Oh yeah. And I
do
bet
too.
she's
I do
coming.
too,
She's
yeah.
got it. I think all of the townspeople, her probably especially, have bigger roles that we're not being fed yet, and so
Yeah.
I think those are coming up.
Yeah, Anya, Emma Frost.
We better get a whole ass Dottie episode. I want episode 8 to be Dottie.
Dottie.
I love it.
Dottie takes over. Guess
Dottie.
what, Wanda? you got Dottie here, so
You got Dottied. That's what she comes out and does.
This
You
is
got
why Dottie
Dottied.
is a mean girl, because she's the only one who can take on Wanda
There you
at this
go.
point. You know.
Wanda
The-
might be able to almost defeat Vision, but she couldn't defeat Dottie out of.
Mm-mm.
There you go.
Those PTA meetings are more brutal than we realize. So, but anyways, thank you very much, Payden, for showing up.
Yeah.
Zachary as well.
Absolutely.
This concludes our review / kind of just talk of WandaVision episode 4. Please like, subscribe, ding that bell if you will, and we will catch you next time.
Yep.
Adios, gentle viewers.